Welcome back to the Control Pod.
Yes, queen.
Today we're joined. Oh my god! Wait, I'm just gonna restart that. I glitched so hard. Just said, "Holy shit!" Wait. Okay, ready.
It's fair.
You know, right now we're including that first cut anyway.
Literally, Isaac's gonna include it. Well,
Go for it.
I actually edit, so
Yeah, you're the king here.
yeah, literally. All right, welcome back to the Control Pod. Yay! We're gonna pretend that I definitely did not just glitch then. Uncle Dan joins us on the pod today.
Hello.
Hi.
Founder of the Flexing Physio Clinic. Crazy.
Technically, this is a part 3.
This is a part 3 for those OG fans that listen to Life with Lamb. Dad and I, we started podcasting way back when. We were saying like late 2024 maybe, or early 2024 maybe.
Yeah, I think early 2024.
Yeah, which is insane, like to, I guess, maintain the friendship as well. And we met through Instagram.
Social media. Well, I reached out to you first.
Yes, you did.
Because you were doing Life with Lamb, and then you put a story up saying, if anyone wants to share this story or come for a spin a yarn, fill out this Google Doc. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll take a stab. I filled out the Google Doc, and then lo and behold, he reached back out and we connected.
Wait, so did you find him on like a For You page, or like did it just his content just pop up?
I think For You page.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn. I didn't even know
I just
that.
thought, this guy's very handsome. I must speak with him. I must have a conversation with this man.
I can't complain, can I?
We're both biased.
Yeah, exactly. I could say,
Damn.
are you looking at a mirror or what? Dan, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. As we said, obviously part 3 and an incredible 3-part series it has been. I think like both of us have grown so much.
Yeah.
And then to be able to have you on the podcast now and see that you've been running the Flexing Physio for 2 years now, like does that feel pretty surreal?
Yeah, 100%. I think at the beginning, I just didn't know what it would, the whole thing, how it would pan out and how it would look like. But I just kept telling myself, just keep showing up, keep controlling what you can control. And a lot of the things, if you just do those two really well, then it will just work out with time.
100%. How good. It's been an awesome journey, and obviously like we've connected through content, but I guess the main reason why we started the Control Pod, selfishly, like was for me to continue podcasting and to continue chatting to amazing people like you, but also to talk a bit about the content space and also what it's like to run a business as well. So really keen to unpack a bit of your journey for, I guess, new listeners. Like, who are you? What do you do?
Yep.
How would you describe Dan?
Yeah. It's funny. I was listening back to a couple of the other podcasts that you had, and I love that you always start with this question, and I had to think about it. I was like, this is a big question. Like, who am I?
It's a big question. We go deep real quick.
Yeah, straight into it. So I want to be known as someone who, once you leave my like presence, or if we're in the same room together, I want you to leave a bit happier or a bit more joyful than when you first came in. And I want to just be known as a guy who's positive all the time. Well, not obviously life isn't great all the time, but I want to be known as someone who's positive most of the time, who can see the bright side of every crappy situation. And then I'm very fortunate that I work as a physio as well. So in my day-to-day life, I do see a lot of people in pain or very frustrated people because they've had injuries nagging on for the last 3-4 months and that they're unable to do the things that they love. So I'm very fortunate that I do get to be in contact with these people. So if they can leave my clinic room slightly, even just 1% happier than when they came in, I think I've done my job. So I want to be known as someone who does that.
Yeah.
And I think you absolutely emulate that always. I think that's
100%.
one thing that's always stood out about you from my perspective as well. Yeah.
For sure. Well, talk to us about now. Obviously, if you guys want real context of Dan, you should go listen to part 1 and part 2. But what I will say is, now that you've started the clinic, tell us about now what that process has been, the name of the clinic, the reason behind the name. Where are we at with that?
Yeah. The name of the clinic is called the Flexing Physio. I have no idea how I came up with the name. I think the name, the Flexing Physio, kind of rolls off the tongue a little bit. And I was thinking about this name from when I first started my Instagram page, which was, if we go back in time, probably 2022. This is when I was still living up in Tamworth, New South Wales. So I started this Instagram page and I saw, I like going to the gym. I like exercising, flexing your muscles. I'm a physio who likes to flex. So then naturally the Flexing Physio came about. And I started the Instagram page initially just to post content, physio related content. So my original target audience were other physios. But what I found from posting content is that uh, the general population also got into it. And even though some of the videos would mean nothing to them, but they're seeing a face behind a brand. And I feel like that helps a lot of people. It strips down a lot of those barriers that people may have to doctors, podiatrists. You know how sometimes when you're sitting in a dentist clinic or a doctor's clinic, you naturally just feel anxious. You feel nervous. But I want people when they come and see me that they've already met me through their phone and they know that I'm just a regular dude.
100%. I think that's like such a good way of looking at content. Like, yes, there's the parasocial aspect of people like knowing your whole backstory and everything before, but you create that environment. And I think, yeah, sometimes, or most of the time, physio clinics are like quite a high stress. Maybe, yeah, not as stressful as like a dentist or I guess a doctor. But I think, yeah, your content, we've spoken about this as well, relates to the Gen Pop too. Like they can relate to, I guess, one of the most iconic videos that I can think of is like when you're saying you're the physio at the party and people like asking you all these questions like, oh, can you check out my crook knee? Or, oh, I did my back the other day. And those sorts of things. It's just like things that you just know would happen.
Have you done that before?
I feel like I was like so close to being like, hey, do you mind checking this back problem though?
How long have you had it, Alisha? Oh, like the last 20 years? Oh, here we go.
I guess we'll need a consultation for that one.
Yeah, he's just like, come visit the Flexing Physio Clinic, we'll book you in.
Is my square?
Oh
no, Alisha just whips it out of his pocket.
But no, I get that though, because my dad's a GP and he has his own, had his own practice as well. And so, yeah, it's the easiest thing. Like when you know someone who's like a clinician, it's always hey, do you mind giving me a script? Or especially my dad, it's like, Dad, can you give me a script for this? Or, hey, and then if he's at like, gatherings or stuff, it's always people going up to him and being like, oh, I've got this like little mole on my back and can you check it and just make sure it's not cancerous? Like, he's like, well, I need the testing lab to understand if that's going to be the case. But I get it. I get that.
Yeah, it is actually, I do feel like if someone does ask me for advice, a lot of my colleagues, they might go, oh, that's so annoying. But I actually don't mind it. Okay. I don't mind being able to share my knowledge with them, assuming the problem isn't too chronic. Like it's not something that you do need to sit down and get a proper subjective interview in history. But if it's just a general this or that, I don't mind. So yeah, please ask.
Oh, so good.
But whatever I say is not taken as was a medical advice.
Yeah.
Go and seek, just as a disclaimer, go and seek your GP.
We've got the asterisks floating around now. Yeah. I know this shit. What is it, like financial advice? Those sorts of things as well too. So no, thank you for clarifying. No. How have you seen like, I guess, the evolution of your brand as well, like through content? Because you I would say you're the modern day like Nigahiga basically for the physio scene. And that's like such an awesome, I would say it's an awesome compliment. I would love for someone to say that. But yeah, honestly, like your content is so uplifting for a space that I guess can get a little bit sterile or a little bit too educational, and people are trying to say all these different things to get you a bit more like fear mongering, right? So getting you a bit more fearful about, oh gosh, like I am feeling a bit niggly and those sorts of things. Like how have you seen the evolution of your content and the impact that it's had over the course of 3 years now?
3 years. I think my content, it's changed from the very beginning to now. At the beginning, I wanted to create a page where I could just post whatever I wanted to, because physio can be quite a, depressing is not the right word, but it can be quite repetitive, 9 to 5 over and over again. So I wanted to have a page where I could let my creative outlet flow. And I'm quite, from a personality perspective, I'm quite a creative person. A lot of people ask me, oh, where do you get all your inspiration for making your videos come from? And I just tell them, it comes from the randomest times. I could be on the toilet or in the shower, after the gym in the shower. My brain is just thinking. It's so strange. But when I think of something, I just jot it down on my notes and I'll come back to it later. But at the beginning, I just wanted a page where I could have that outlet for me. And I was creating some day in the life videos, some training videos. But now I found quite a specific niche in trying to break down some of those, as you said, those fear-mongering narratives that we might hear from other clinics or other clinicians. So for just to say one off the top of my head, a lot of people fear like bending using their back. And they always say, typically at work, they go, oh, you have to bend from your knees. Don't bend from your back. Otherwise, your spine's got to shoot out of your ass, you know? But it's like, so not true.
I've heard this. No, where we're corporate, it was like always like, if you're holding your box from the knees and then up. And I'm like, what?
And they give you pictures and everything. And to a certain, for someone specific, if they've just hurt their back, bending from your knees is probably a good idea because then that takes a strain off your back a little bit. But if you were to get someone to do that always and always, they're naturally going to lose a little bit of that movement through their lower back and then going to cause issues down the track. So we try and meet the person where they are and treat everyone as an individual. So for someone, yes, the advice is, bend from your knees for the time being. But then for most of the population, it is completely safe to bend from your back. So that's just to throw one out there.
Yeah, definitely. Well, leads me to ask this question, like in terms of, I feel like there's two camps. There's like the overgeneralization or oversimplification of, I guess, movements in this case versus the excess amount of information that there is online now. Like so many people are just posting content, trying to be the noisiest there. Like where do you sort of lie in between the two of them? Like where do you see is the best balance?
Yeah, I do get what you're saying. Like there's a lot of nuance to a lot of these things that we talk about because we're dealing with human bodies at the end of the day and everyone has a different experience. And when we look at pain, we have a saying that pain is multifaceted, multifactorial. There's like 50 to 60 different things that might influence your pain. So from a physio perspective, we are trained to look at one slice of that pie, which is more that physical perspective. We might even ask you about how's your mental health these days. So there's a lot of different things that might tie in. So it's really hard to capture all of that in a 20 to 30 second reel. So a lot of it is going to be, not going to lie, a little bit clickbaity, but just trying to break down some of those more extreme videos where they blame everything on your knee caving in when you squat. Like there's just so much more nuance that needs to be discussed. So the videos that I post, hopefully it captures people's attention. And then if that ends up bringing them into the clinic, then we have the luxury of time where we can break down some of their misconceptions.
Have you had people on like TikTok or Instagram like put comments out there being like that, like questioning or asking about myths, or have you had people that you need to like respond to, or people coming in from your TikTok asking these questions? Or
yeah, I get a lot of some keyboard warriors. They'll see a video I post and then they'll just rah rah rah, whatever. And I try not to. If I know that they're just trying to rage bait, I won't.
I love this terminology.
I love that Dan knows the terminology needed.
Yeah.
Chronically online.
Brain rot. That's bad. That's what happens when you make content. You're online a lie and your brain just gets rotted. Anyway, what were we talking about? Online keyboard warrior.
Yeah.
So for people who are you can kind of feel if they're being asking a genuine question. And in that case, I will take the time to try and give as much nuance as I can to that person. But if it's a question that is obviously just trying to get a reaction, I might, if I'm depending on the mood on that day, I might, entertain it a little. You know how sometimes you get scam callers?
Yeah.
You play with it
sometimes you play with it. If you've got like half an hour to spare, you might, actually about to give the BSB and everything. But in other times you'll just hang up.
3 numbers on the back as well.
Yeah. Other times you'll just hang up. So it depends on the day.
Yeah.
But it's really dependent on the day and the person. Yeah.
Do you feel like you've always had like a strategy leading into it, or do you think like you've seen sort of what has worked and then just gone with that, and then I guess the next thing that will pop up, you go with that? Like how does is there much strategy behind content, I guess?
Not really, to be honest. Not really. The only thing that I would say that I do think about more is because I'm working with, have you heard of MyProtein, the supplement brand?
I was going to ask about that as well, because obviously there's the affiliation to the brand and you might have signed a contract and there's all these things that you need to represent the brand for as well. Like you can't be saying, I guess, all these I guess, misinform things or
Correct,
be
yeah.
extremely polarizing.
So it's a
and those
supplement
sorts of-
company, right?
Yeah.
Supplement, yeah. I'm kind of a big deal. But
I'm going to use your code for Black Friday.
yes, Uncle Dan. Let's go. Yeah, but with the working with supplement company, there are some deliverables that you have to tick off each month. So in that case, bless you.
Thank you.
In that case, the hay fever, right?
So bad. I forgot to take my antihistamine. Anyway.
That's all right. Yeah, so with these deliverables, I will try and spend a bit of time thinking about how I can put the product in the video. But for most of my other content, it's very nonchalant. Like, as I said, if I'm in the gym showering, I'll think of something. And then that afternoon, if I have a pocket of time, I'll try and film it.
Oh, I like the idea of pocket of time. I'm going to jump in on that.
Yeah.
How do you manage posting content while running a business? Because we, content, social media agency, already edit content for others. And then by the time we've done all that, we're not going to edit our own content.
Yeah.
We're like so over it, right? Just editing process. But we even, and I guess that's what sort of our role is for those business owners like who really struggle with it. So they hire us to then, come in and do their content for them. But then the biggest the struggle that we have with all business owners that we talk to is time. It's always, I don't have time, the editing time, I don't know how to plan content. How do you, obviously the planning side you've already explained, but how do you go about then having that plan, filming it, and then actually editing it and not feeling like that's taking up too much of your time away from the business as well?
That's a good question. I reckon being really intentional with that. So for me, I love filming and editing. That's something that brings me joy and fills my cup. I know for a lot of physio clinic owners that I speak to, they hate filming content. Every time they think about social media, they cringe. But in this day and age, if you're not on socials, you're one big step behind unless you're just so good or you've been there for 40,000 years and people just know you just from the time. With our social media as a newer clinic, I think it's really hard to get that reach. So being really intentional, what I mean by that is actually blocking out a half an hour, 45-minute slot in your diary, because we all have PMS softwares that we can use to book patients in. And then on that, you can just block out time. And then if you block out time, no one can book in, no one can touch that time. That time is yours. And you just protect it. And then in that time, because you've already blocked it out, you know how they say if you write things down on a piece of paper, you're more likely to get it done? Rather than
That's why I haven't been getting much done.
that's
I don't do that, but I feel like you do that and it works really well for you.
Write things out that you have to do, like a to-do list, and then make a little box and then tick it once you get done. Because I think we crave that feeling of the tick.
Yeah,
the
literally.
dopamine.
You're like that. You see that unchecked box and then you tick it and you're like, oh my God, I'm writing this momentum 100%. I think
It
I
also
work that way.
reminds you of also how much you've done as well. Because I think we forget how much work we've actually done throughout the day. And then we go and look and go, oh, we actually done a lot.
Yeah, and knock it over like dominoes. Set out your smallest, easiest task and then gradually make it bigger and then just build that momentum.
So for you, it's very much like time blocking, editing and filming.
Yeah.
And that's a non-negotiable.
Yeah, but I'm a huge hypocrite because I haven't been doing time blocking.
Welcome to our world.
But what I will say is that as of 3-4 months ago, I hired my first team member. Shout out Adrian Lifcedo.
I know. I want to meet this guy. He seems awesome. Like
He's
such a vibe.
Has he been on your content already?
Yeah.
Have I seen him? I think
all
I'm
over.
He's
All
been on a
over.
couple. I hired him based on personality. He's a physio too. He's
He doesn't know what he's doing. He's a good bloke.
He's actually an accountant.
I'm dead.
No, it's so good.
So I hired him. He's from Queensland, and we had a few Zoom chats, and it was just a really organic process. And I hired him purely based on his ability to build rapport. Because in our profession as physios, and you guys too, if you don't build that trust with your clients or patient, you don't have anything. Whatever you tell them, they're not going to do it. So
Absolutely. I think, rapport building is such a, we just went through a hiring process as well, which is super exciting. And to hop on the interview call and it was quite a bit of a tussle between two candidates. And I think,
So we're hiring an editor.
yeah, we were hiring an editor because we just need that extra, I guess, hands on deck in terms of covering the deliverables and making sure that we also have a chance to breathe too, because 90% of our work
It's just editing.
is editing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
as
you would
well.
know, the videography part of it's easy. It's the editing that's the tedious.
Do you guys
Absolutely.
love the editing part, or do you guys love the filming part?
I love the filming.
The filming part's always fun.
Yeah.
Like you're going out with clients. It's almost like a
Yeah.
day trip. Sometimes
Yeah.
we've been to Bendigo with our clients and
Right.
out to different suburbs. But
Yeah.
and also it's also about like being there with the client and talking to them, catching up. So for us, that's always fun.
Yeah.
I'm sort of 50-50 with editing now.
Right.
I feel like the first 6 months of our business, I was like, lock the freaking, I love this shit. But now I think I've hit that post honeymoon phase, and I'm
Sure.
like, oh, I don't want to do this
I think
anymore.
so. I think
Yeah.
having done it for probably 2
Yeah, for
years
you,
now,
yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
grown to like almost not dislike it, but resent it in a way, which is bad because it's like it's our primary source of business at the
Sure.
moment. So, and that's nothing against like our clients or anything. I think
Yeah.
just seeing this long list of things that we need to do. Like currently we have our 18-day series of like
Yeah.
trying to get all these deliverables.
130 before Japan?
Literally.
Yeah, I've been following
it
that.
is pretty cooked. I think like seeing that, and for myself, like I get overwhelmed quite easily unless I have a to-do list and I'm like accumulating small wins or investing in like my health and those sorts of things too.
100%.
I feel like a bit more on top of it. So I've grown to like resent it, but then I'm also in this limbo of like, no, you need to be grateful. Like you get to do this. Like it's good
Yeah.
that you have this piling list of things to do because like it shows that you guys are on the right track as well. So
Yeah.
it's this weird like love hate.
It's a tension. isn't
Exactly,
it?
right?
Yeah.
Like you ping pong a little bit between it. Some days you're like, oh, I love this. Some days
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I like
Love-hate
really,
relationship.
really don't want
Yeah.
to stare at a screen for the rest of
Yeah.
the day and that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's
Just to jump in, I completely agree and resonate with that. Like some days I'm in the clinic and I'm vibing with my patients. I have like 4 back to back and they're all just my favorite people. And we're just having good, solid banter. We're building that rapport, keep building that trust. And then I'll have another day where I maybe see 3 people back to back and they are just the most draining people in the world.
yeah.
And I'll feel like I just hate my job.
Yeah.
I just don't want to do this anymore. But as you said, it's just that tension that you just have to. But it's some days I think if I catch myself hating my job, I think to myself, how lucky am I to be able to be in a position where I'm healthy, I'm active, I'm being able to help someone get back to the things that they love doing. I'm very lucky. But then it's not always, we can talk about it now because we're in a good moment, but some days you just catch yourself and you get stuck there a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. And I think like more recently, it's more been like my own mentality as well. It's nothing like against clients or anything like that. They're all wonderful. And it's like, you want to get to a point, I would say for physio, especially like since you're like almost an open service and an open clinic, like you can't really control the people that come in unless you have a fully booked out list for like months and months on end, which I know
Beggars
some,
can't be choosers.
yeah, exactly. Right. And like maybe same for us, but I think we're getting to a point where we're like, no, we have like pretty solid foundations with clients and we honestly turned down a couple because we were like, I don't think we really align, like in the sense of is the work that we offer what we want to provide for these people who want a completely different thing as well. So it's a really interesting one because you're privileged to be in the fact that you like that you're in business, but then I don't know, like you're also human and you can also not enjoy things sometimes as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the struggle of it is a challenge as well.
It is
I think from
interesting.
like I write off the same way that you kind of write off as well because I came from that corporate job and then to go into business. And then you think of the fact that like editing just in itself is a work from anywhere position,
Yeah.
right? Like if not the videography part, obviously we have to be in person for that, but the editing is like, I could do it here. You know, I could go to Japan and still edit.
Yeah.
I could, go to Europe and still edit. So I think of that and then I'm like, I love my job.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
complaining anymore.
But this Japan trip, no editing, right?
Yes.
trying not
this
to,
one,
unless
this
it's
one.
personal content.
No, I'm
or-
making sure there's
yeah.
no
Oh,
editing,
okay.
no work editing in
Yeah.
place. I think, we've gone through quite a rough, I'd say 3-4 months since coming back from our trips in July. I'd say kind of kicked off from there. It was like up and down, very up and down. And I think we deserve a
Vacay, a proper
break.
vacay.
Proper break. Proper break.
sure.
And our clients are so sweet. We called one of them yesterday for a meeting.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, we've got the content shoot for your 2 months batch because some clients we batch 2 months into one shoot, which is a lot of content to, I guess, film in the one shoot. And they're like, is it okay if we just get like the first month done and we'll do like the second month like when we come back? Because we come back on the 9th of December. So
Yeah.
still heaps of time before December ends. They were like, of course, like, no, we don't want to bother you. Like, you guys deserve a break soon. We were like, little tear emoji coming out. Like, thank you.
That's so
it's
good.
really
And that's your people. Those are your
Exactly.
clients that you want to get more of. And then if you do a good job with them, which obviously you guys will, they're going to talk about you with their friends and colleagues. And then that's, word of mouth is the
stuff.
best marketing.
Absolutely. Back on rapport though, I think we were in between two people, and then we were thinking about it a bit about we were like, okay, this person seems like so passionate, like really wants to work with us. This person, but they'd be really like practical and great for the job, like could just bang out like all these videos and that sort of stuff. And I was leaning towards the practical, but that was like my, I guess, like tunnel vision of like, okay, currently that's the problem that we're having. It's like all this backlog. So I was like, okay, this would alleviate it straight away. But then Alisha was like, no, but think about, I guess, the long term. This person, she's not a bad editor, but she's like willing and very like passionate about the brand and has done her research as well. Like came to us with questions, was stalking us, like getting some background and everything. And we're like, we really appreciated that. Yeah. And I think like long term, you're probably going to have like a 1 of 10 chance of hiring someone like that versus a 1 of 2 hiring someone who's like very capable as well. So very good perspective. Thank you, Alisha.
Yeah, good. And that's the benefit of running a business between two people with different personalities is that you offer that different perspective. And if it were up to you, you'd probably go with your gut and you go option A, but then probably wouldn't have the best outcome.
Long term.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right?
For short term, I feel like that would have been the best choice. But we're thinking about it, like there's that many editors. We could probably hire them. And then, but to hire someone who's passionate and like he's willing to learn as well, like that's the difference. So like, what has that experience been like for you? Because like sole trader, basically, like solo rider, how's that journey been over the last 2 years?
Yeah, it's the very first year I was telling Alisha off here before, I felt really lonely going to work because I had quite a big clinic, as you know, you've been there before. We still need to get another gym chest
100%,
day.
yes. 100%.
And you're invited too, Alisha.
You're a High Rocks fan though.
Nah, no more. I'm a running man now.
You're a running man.
We should go for a run.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're running on Sundays.
Oh, actually, my feet hurt. Can you like check them out?
Yeah, just take your pants off. It's my feet that hurt.
Say less. No.
You guys should go running together. That's so
we actually should.
If you didn't live like a million years away, I'd definitely run with you.
Where are you based in?
Pasco Vale.
We'll come to you.
Okay, weekend's all right. It's just today was a bit hectic.
Yeah, sorry.
My butt hurts from sitting down. But no. What were we talking about?
What were we talking about?
Sole
first
trader.
year.
First year, got to work for like the first year, it was just me by myself with my clients. And some days I wouldn't be very busy. So I'd just be in my room, just chilling, maybe doing a bit of admin work, some content, that sort of stuff. So it got pretty lonely pretty early on. So that's why hiring my first team member, a game changer, like being able to bounce ideas. And he's a new grad, but he's so switched on and he provides the new grad eagerness and hunger to learn that some of us more seasoned, I'm 5 years out, I'm not even that seasoned, but we can start to get complacent, you can start to get comfortable. And then these new grads just come in and they just keep you honest. They ask these really spicy questions that I'm like, oh shoot, I don't know. I'm going to have to read up on that and get better myself as well.
But do you feel like that's all new grads though? Because you might have just stumbled across a gem. Because I think some new grads walk out and they're like, yeah, I know everything. Like, I'll just go in.
ChatGPT,
like,
the answer.
Yeah.
These
Dude,
days, I would not be surprised.
I'm so scared of this new
actually-
gen.
it
It's
is really
crazy.
scary.
I'm not going to lie.
What do you mean new gen? ChatGPT's ruining my life. Well, not running my life. What is a spine? What is a muscle?
My patient has this issue.
I know you're like mid-appointment. No.
That's a real idea. That's a real idea.
There we go. Write that down. But no, that's I think coming across like obviously you do business for yourself, but then there's a higher picture of like you want to serve others, and then to be able to do that with someone who's like aligned with the vision as well is just like. I don't know. It just gets so good. I reckon. Yeah.
It's actually quite interesting because me and Adrian, we both came from our new grad job. We both came from a very busy, already well-established clinic. So we didn't need to do anything to get clients in. To be quite frank, we didn't really care if you came or not in the afternoon or in the morning. So if you didn't come, doesn't matter. That slot will get filled by the admin team. So coming to my clinic where I am the admin team. I am the physio. I am the security guard, whatever.
The janitor.
The janitor of the Flexing Physio Clinic. Now it's different for him as well, and also for me as well. So I found that there was a tension that I needed to grapple with, which is now, okay, if I'm not seeing clients, I'm not able to get paid. So my rebooking strategy slightly changed as well, but still trying to also be ethical about it and not just trying to be, I'll see you 2 times a week for the next 12 years. It's a tension that all new grads, all physios go through. At the very beginning.
That's really interesting. Yeah, I think I guess when you walk into a place and not to your fault or anything, but when you're spoon fed and things just happen around you.
Yep.
To go into that environment to then transition into a thing where you need to do everything and now you're accountable for everything. I absolutely resonate with that as well. I think I'm definitely learning that too, in terms of now there's all these other things that we have to look after, and thankfully Alisha is able to help me out with that too.
Yeah.
I'm an admin
Queen.
Admin queen.
I love admin. I don't know. I'm such a nerd. You should see me last night. So we were watching Fast and Furious, but then he was editing. I was meant to be editing, but I'm so obsessed with Notion right now, and I'm trying to code Notion to create our new CRM system, and I'm like, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? And he's like, are you gonna edit anytime soon? I'm like, no, I'm doing it. I'm making sure your life's easier by doing the Notion, creating this. And even this morning, I woke up and I was like, how do I, Jadyn, I have a Notion dilemma. How do I do this? And I'm trying all these things. But I love admin.
Did you say what?
Yeah, what's Notion?
Do you know Notion?
No.
Notion's it's just all encompassing, either note taking software or it can be your personal, tracker, diary.
It's almost
it has all in one.
CRM
Yeah, pretty much.
sort of
It's like a live
system.
CRM. It's got really popular. So.
But the only thing with Notion, and this is why they have jobs for that, but you can do it yourself as well. It's so build your own.
Oh, okay.
Which makes it, I think, can put off for a lot of people who can't be bothered with the build your own system. Because I think once you build it, it's amazing. But you've got to build it and figure it out.
People sell templates. It's
sell
really
templates. It's not that bad.
it's
sounds
awesome.
like it runs your life, makes it a little bit more streamlined.
Yeah, you tick box checks and calendar and schedule content out through and all that.
Yeah, I know personal, actually Cal uses Notion quite frequently, but he's got maybe a mantra that you can code to a particular website that you really enjoy reading off of, or I don't know, on your Kindle you can highlight words and then you email it to yourself, and then maybe Notion pulls those emails and spits out that mantra or quote that you were reading the other day.
Wow.
Or you can write a to-do list and it auto populates throughout the week. It's pretty insane what you can do with it. So
we're trying to create, because obviously now having a team for editing, we need to have, especially because they're offshore as well. We're trying to figure out how we're going to track, because between editing deliverables for us, it was easy because it was oh, did you do this client's deliverables? And then we could just talk about it in office. But now that we have a team, it's kind of how do we track that? And so that's what I'm kind of in the process of creating, but I froth it. Yeah. I froth invoicing, I froth emailing. I'm the... Do you want
Do you want a side hustle? I'm not joking.
I don't know what it is. Just sitting there with music on and just I don't know. I love it. So for me, it's I think this duo makes sense because he just loves the videography.
Yep.
And he doesn't want to
He
doesn't like the invoicing and the admin and the follow up or the tough client conversations whereas I'm give it to me. I'm hand it to me.
Oh, wow. That's so good. You tell my wife. My wife's the same as well. This is good. We were talking about in the last few episodes as well, my wife really compliments me, where I lack. I can't say she lacks anything because I'll sleep on the streets tonight.
Exactly right.
Shout out Corinne. We love you. No, that's awesome. What have you learned about yourself? I guess how long has the new hire been in for?
4 months?
4 months, yeah. What have you learned in the 4 months?
Wow, so much. Because I was telling Alisha before as well, I got to the stage before I hired Adrian where I was comfortable. I was seeing my 50, 60 clients a week. And I was making good money and everything. But I was so busy. I was seeing 50 to 60 patients a week with pain. That's a lot on your mental. And the average burnout rate for a physio is 5 years. And I was at that point. And I was damn, I can see why the average, the burnout rate is at this time. So I thought, okay, I need to make a new hire. And thankfully, Adrian came along and I hired him. And I just think what I learned most about it is that you just have to be okay with being uncomfortable again. So I'm in that stage where I am slightly feeling the pinch of the rent, making enough income to cover the rent and also pay him and also get myself paid as well. But as we all know, on the other side of discomfort is growth. And thankfully, we're making tiny steps towards the right direction. It is slow, but we're getting there. And I keep reminding myself on those days where I'm like, if we're both quiet, naturally you will feel a little bit of, did I make the right decision? Did I make is it the right timing? I always say to myself and say to Corinne as well, if we never make that next step, then we will always be in the same spot. So just remembering that helps me break the gap.
Sound like Alisha.
Yep. The same thing to Jen all the time.
Yeah.
It's true though. Like because even us seeing, all the different businesses we've worked with, we get to obviously look at and sort of, I guess, almost psychoanalyze in different ways, like what their business is and how their business is going. And, we get to see the real, I guess lucky for us, we get to talk to the business owners as well with filming content with them. So we get to hear the struggles and the pains and all that. And in different businesses that we, our clients now, but even, businesses that we're no longer with, we've seen the kind of almost like the stop point where they kind of are stuck there and they're not either one, they can't take that next step forward or they're not willing to because it's almost like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's always that uncomfortable feeling that I feel like a lot of people really shy away from. But that's the whole point that I say is that's where it actually is the path to grow, right?
Lean into it, right? Really take advantage of it. Lean in.
Yeah.
The opportunity to grow. It's how good's that? Like my I don't like calling him because he's not mine. He's not my slave. The new
Blink
team
if you
member.
need help.
Who, me or Adrian?
Adrian, who's blinking, I think.
But yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. But
sorry, I just cut you off. With Adrian, like, what have you felt with him?
I was gonna say something, but I forgot.
No, that's all good. I'll jump in because I think this like uncomfortable aspect or like sitting where we are is like one of the big battles that I've been having more recently. I think like I reflect back on like my personal journey, having maybe 2-3 serviceable clients, like super comfortable to now, I guess like tripling that or quadrupling that almost in a span of 8 months has been a lot to take on as well. And like have obviously had the stress, like the burnout, and like have felt more anxious, like never felt more anxious than I have ever. Like at the start you mentioned how you really like to see the light in like a crappy situation, like whatever situation, you really love to see the positives. How do you go about that? Like, what do you attribute that to? Is it a mindset thing? Did you grow up thinking that way? Because it's one thing that I used to think like I was a really optimistic person. And I think like I've seen like a really not sharp decline, but like a slow, gradual decline in the sense of like I'm feeling more negative or like more pessimistic about those sorts of things. So like a selfish question, but like, do you have any advice for, I guess, people who are going through the similar thing?
Yeah, I attribute it to my dad. My dad, he's also a doctor. He's a, what is he? Orthopedic surgeon.
Yeah.
Big dog.
That's a
This
big
is
dog.
back in Taiwan, so he hasn't practiced for a long, long time already. But when our family first immigrated from Taiwan to New Zealand, coming from my dad's perspective, he was working such a intense job. Everyone almost in Taiwan, you worship your doctors. So he came from a very high status to New Zealand where he was nobody. He couldn't practice as a doctor in New Zealand unless he wanted to go through the entire schooling process, which he didn't want to. And so he fell into depression, and then he really saw, and then long story short, after I grew up, was old enough to go through my own emotions as well and go through a couple of heartaches, that sort of stuff. My dad has always been someone who, if I tell him my problems, he can always find the beauty of it or the bright side of it. He always turns it into a life lesson. And when I was growing up, I always think it was so like, oh, wow, it's so so cringe. Why are you always doing that? But now that I'm a bit older, now I can look back and actually, I'm really grateful for my dad to be able to lift me out of some pretty dark times when I was growing up. And I would attribute it to my dad.
That's it's a refreshing perspective, I think. And it's like, it's this weird like grapple again, right? Of why am I feeling this way? Like I want to be feeling a certain way. I know that maybe like I should, although that even is like a pretty toxic way of thinking as well. So
Yeah.
no, it's a
But don't get me wrong too. Like I still sometimes get really pessimistic and really down, especially when if I'm doing the monthly numbers and it's just not as good as what I was where I was when I was working by myself. Yeah, I always go through regret. I always go through those doubts. But then every day I go to work, I'm reminded, oh, this is why I hired this guy, because he's awesome and he brings a new energy into the clinic, which wasn't there before. So I think just lean into it. I reckon that's the best advice is if you always try to be optimistic, you're not going to be. That's just life, isn't it?
Wow.
There's lots of words. How has Corinne played a role in all of this as well? I'd love to talk a bit about it. Alisha and I were obviously dating, and then like we are in business together as well. But it sounds like she's been such a rock for you as well. Yeah, what role has she played in all of this?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I can honestly say if it wasn't for Corinne, I wouldn't be a business owner. I wouldn't have opened my own clinic because I'm the type of guy, and I shared this with Jadyn in the past. I get really complacent really easily. I get comfortable, and I like to sit in comfort. And that's also another reason. If it wasn't for Corinne, I'd probably be 150 kilos right now because I also love food. I'm a big foodie. That's why we moved to Melbourne. And having Corinne there, she was the one who was kind of pushing me into the business side. And at the time, I didn't see it in myself, but she obviously saw something that I didn't see because I never thought that I would own my own clinic or be a business owner. I never thought it. But then having her gently nudge me in the direction that she did, I can comfortably say that without her doing that, I wouldn't have ventured into business ownership because it's risky.
Yeah.
If it were easy, everyone would do it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's she plays a big role. She works as an accountant for Coles, so she's in the finance team, and she has the luxury of being able to work from home 3 days a week and in the office 2 days a week. But she does all the clinic finances, and she helps me run the numbers and helps us see where things are at and where we need to be a little bit better. But one of the cons of that is because she's my wife, everything she says, I'm like, oh, you don't know. Like I take it with a grain of salt, and I hate that about myself. But it's like when someone you love tells you some constructive criticism, the first instinct is to reject.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I think so. I don't know what it is because like happens with like my mom as well. Sometimes my dad. It's like immediately someone that you love so much, like you just you put your shields up or you just like brute force like the other way, and it's just like I'm trying to unlearn it and like navigate that very much so.
Yeah, we've had many arguments, Corinne and I, about she's trying to tell me something about the clinic, and I'll go into this later, but and then I get put up my walls and I start getting really defensive or even attack back. I think this is because I love her so much that I care and I truly care about what she says. You know how when you have a stranger say that, oh, you look ugly, oh, whatever, you probably think about it for a while. But when someone you love dearly says that you look ugly, it just hurts a lot more and you think about it for a lot longer. So I think because Corinne is my wife and I love her so much, whatever she says, I take it really to heart. And so when she is talking about, oh, this month's numbers aren't looking too good, I take that as like a personal identity
almost like
attack.
you're not working hard enough or something like that.
That's right. And
I
then,
agree.
yeah, it's a strange one. So that's why I think it's a good idea to have someone separate, like an objective point of view, hire a third party or whatever to do the work. But because my wife's a bit of a tight ass, she will just say, "Oh, I can do this job. Let me do it." So that's the way we roll, baby. I sleep on the couch on average three nights of the week. It's all right. I got barbell.
Hey, that's less than 50%, eh? That's right. 3 of 7.
Just in the good and lining of that.
We'll take that.
No, I think, Jadyn will very much resonate with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's good because, I try really hard to explain to Jadyn, like, there's even times where I'm literally saying, Jadyn, I'm not attacking you. I'm just saying that this could be better if we did it this way or tried this way. And sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't work. It's okay. But then, I think it's just I guess the female partner end of the side of things, it's just a matter of like maybe just reassuring like you guys or Jadyn in that sense that like I'm not attacking you as a person. It's just I see something and I have this idea of doing it maybe this way or this could be better another way.
Yeah.
And I hope that works.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, I think so. Yeah, I've been going to therapy as well. And the first session, like, sort of spoke about this sort of instance. And sorry, Isaac, I just hit the mic. In the first instance of meeting them, I like spoke about these sorts of feelings that were coming up, and like one of the cues that he relayed onto me was like, when these things happen, like just take a moment to pause if you can, and think, is this person genuinely like having a dig at you, or do they want you to be better as well? And I think it always comes back down to that, because Alisha's been nothing but like supportive, reassuring, and showing like so much like love and faith and trust in what we're building. And yeah, sometimes I guess it's easy to get ahead of yourself and take that to heart because you care so much about, I guess, what your actions are like, and how they impact the other person that you care about too. So yeah, it's a really interesting dilemma, and unfortunately sometimes it does, I guess, hurt relationships more than it does actually like help them grow. But something that I'm actively working on for sure.
Yeah.
Hey guys, you heard it here first. It's recorded. Yeah, record it. I'm gonna cut that and then put it as a voiceover. And I'm gonna play every single time it gets angry.
Fuck.
On the house loudspeaker.
Yeah.
It's the daily alarm.
No, it's a growing journey. Like obviously, like I can imagine for your partner as well. Like, I think I see it from how my parents did things as well with business. But to date a business owner is also challenging too. Like there's a lot of like stresses that you have that they won't have, and for them it's like they just rock up to their job and they do, their job's hard, but they rock up to the job, do the job, and they get to like switch off and go home. Whereas like for you, it's like a constant thinking process, and I think for us, we're lucky because we're both in the same journey. But I think of my parents as well. Like my mum was very much I want to switch off. My dad was always that churning, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then that has its challenges too. And so I give it to both the business owner and the partner. It's a lot of work.
I think two things come to mind. The first thing that I'm thinking of is every time I catch myself getting into defense or attacking mode, I need to be really good at removing my ego from the situation. Just chuck that out the door. And number two is got to keep reminding myself that my wife and we are a team. We're attacking this beast together. Whereas sometimes I get caught up, and when we do fight, it's like it's me versus her. So thinking about that helps.
In saying that as well, I guess I think for most guys especially, like you just want someone that's like in your corner that believes in you.
Yeah.
I think like bottom line, that's like what I try to remind myself of. Like this person believes in you.
Yeah.
That's like all you could ask for.
This person's backing you. But also when there is a bit of disagreement, I think as dudes too, we naturally go, oh, no, you cannot disagree with me. What the hell? You'll disagree? What the hell? Head off. Yeah.
No, I love it. I love where that
Good
conversation went. Hey, what was the go with changing from the Flexing Physio to Uncle Dan?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people just attributed the Flexing Physio to me. And I wanted to, now that I've got Adrian, my slave, my cash cow. No, just kidding. I call him that to his face all the time, so it's okay.
Guys,
Again, Adrian, blink if you need help.
Don't cancel.
But since having Adrian on board, I want people to come see the Flexing Physio Clinic as both of us, so that people aren't just booking in. Because initially I had some issues with people booking in just wanting to see me. Because obviously I started the clinic, I started the brand, I was the face of the brand. But now I've got Adrian. Adrian's also very qualified, and he's a great guy too. He knows his stuff. So I want people to be comfortable with seeing either of us, whoever's free, who has time. So that's why his name is, I think it's Liftcedo, because his last name is Lucido, so he likes to Liftcedo, and mine's Uncle Dan. So hopefully over some time that people will then start to separate me with the brand.
I wonder whether you need to, sorry to interrupt you, I wonder whether you need to do the S on the end, Flexing Physios.
Flexing Physios.
To create that multiple people dynamic
Flexing
rather than just the
Physios.
one
Yeah, it's
image of
true.
one person. I don't know.
I could just use a Sharpie and just write S. And every time it rains, like, crap, gotta go. Yeah, that's a good
Because
point.
if you grow the business with more physios, then I don't know.
Or the flexing peoples.
Flexing people.
If I start adding like dietitians and
yeah.
flexing humans.
Yeah, humans.
But yeah, no, I think
I love that.
that's an interesting topic and just like something to brush on. But like it's so, I guess it shows how important like the brand versus like the person is as well. Because I think that's the thing that I'm realizing in personal brand, like especially if people build up a business and like you have done with your journey as well. Like at what point can you almost like separate yourself from it so that you can continue to scale if that's what you want to do, right? Like if that's what you want to be known for, like building the brand. Whereas like if you are known for a particular service, so say your physiotherapy service, and people want to book in because they want to see Uncle Dan, and I'm seeing that with like my osteo as well, who's down the road. Like they want to see Luke. If he hired someone else, I feel like his bookings would like plummet because people are so used to seeing and getting service from that one person as well. So it's a really interesting one.
I think it just clicked for me. Is that why I think I searched Flexing Physio on TikTok and it didn't pop up? You changed it to Uncle Dan.
I changed it to Uncle Dan, and my clinic page. So I've got a separate page, which is the Flexing Physio Clinic, and we post clinic related stuff. And if we make personal stuff, and if it's also clinic related, then we'll just collaborate because Instagram's awesome like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense now. I was like full confused. I was like, where is this guy's page?
No, literally.
So Flexing Physio is no more. Now it's the Flexing Physio Clinic and Uncle Dan and Lifcedo.
Oh, good. Where to from here?
Where to from here? Just keep showing up. Keep on leaning into the discomfort. Hopefully, over the next coming few months, he can start to get more busy, and then we can start seeing more streams of patients come in from different places, and then he can start having his own and owning his caseload and being really good with his own caseload. I almost describe it like I want him to try run a business within a business so that he can take ownership of his clients that he's looking after. Because previously, for both of our experiences, we were just the employee and we were there just for our 8 hours a day. And if people didn't come, we didn't care. So we had that very dissociated perspective. So get him a lot busier if possible. And then also for me to get slightly busier. But I'm really enjoying, to be honest, like money aside, I'm really enjoying the current stage of my life where I can go to work with people that I love. And I've also got a myotherapist who she doesn't work for me. She rents a room from the clinic. And usually she can be very tenant-landlord relationship. She comes in, does her thing and goes home. But she really wants to integrate herself, myotherapy with physiotherapy and work together. So we have a lot of fun together as well. She's a powerlifter, awesome. Her name's Lisa. And yeah, just being able to come to work with happiness. And money isn't everything. It is important. Obviously, you got to pay the rent to keep the lights on. Yeah.
I love it.
What's your message for the next guest that we have? So you're passing, leaving.
Do you guys do this?
Yeah.
We should have briefed
Not
you.
gonna lie, I think we need to we ask these questions to these guests, but we never actually tell them the message on the next podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, should we just leave it in the podcast?
To listen. They have to listen. To
Yeah,
their
Oh, that should be a
previous-
criteria. That'd be cool. And make everyone listen to the podcast prior.
Yeah.
What's your leaving message for the next guest?
Do you have a next guest lined up or not
We
yet?
do.
Saturday.
Can you Saturday?
Saturday?
Yeah, we do.
Who's
They
the
are
next
a beverage
one?
company.
Is that the
Bevy.
first one?
Yeah.
A bevy company. All right. Message to leave to the
I think
next guest.
instead of maybe thinking of just the beverage company, think of, I guess, business ownership as a whole
Yes,
and
and
the
content
way
and
that
everything like
content
that.
plays into that journey too. Whether it's something about growing pains or something that you want to leave.
Yeah, I'm going to rob a quote from someone, I think the Under Armour CEO, potentially. His quote goes like this: trust is built in droplets and lost in buckets. So that's what I would like to leave. So in essence, if you're building a brand and your brand is working with people and connecting with people, trust, you build it in so slow, and it's through conversations, it's through sharing stories. That's how you build that trust gradually. But you can also lose it really, really fast. So spend a lot of time laying down the groundwork and the foundations and building those relationships and connections. And the stronger it is, the more I think the better word of mouth will be. And also just the better happiness I think you'll feel because you have that genuine connection with another human.
I love it. That was awesome.
I love,
Yes.
yeah, no, thank you, Dan, so much for your time. I think third part's a charm. That was like one of the best podcasts I
Yeah.
reckon we've had in.
I felt like we've all kind of grown up in a way.
Yeah.
From when
No,
we first
actually.
began.
That's so true. That's so
right?
true. Yeah, I love it.
100%. It's been so nice to, I guess, catch up and like rekindle the relationship
Yeah.
and just get an update on your journey and like obviously always rooting for you as
Thank
well
you.
and
Thank you,
following
guys.
along.
Thank you.
Like for those of you that don't follow Dan, like be sure to follow him. He's like such a